this edition of my Winning Pitch broadcast. I want to have one of my best friends, Ana Cortes, the most famous person on the planet, and she's going to tell you her story. And our hope is that it motivates you to rise to her level of success. So, Ana, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's a pleasure of myself to be here. I'm very excited because I'm going to be practicing my English too. So that's a very good thing. Well, I have to start saying that I'm Mexican. I was born in Tampico, which is on the north of Mexico. I'm not Colombian. I'm not from an island. I'm Mexican. And I was born in this family. My father was 19, my mother was 17. So it was kind of a rough timing for them to have me. However, they decided that I was going to be born. And I started this way because sometimes people think that in some part of the life, for some people, things start to get hard. But for me, it was kind of just since I was born, since the first time. So I grew up in Tampico with my family till my parents split up. Then we moved to live to another city, a very small city with my grandparents. And I wasn't happy in that city. It was too small for me. Even when I was 14, 15, I was like, man, I'm going to die here. I'm just going to have one boyfriend, marry this guy. And, I'm not going to know the world. So I need to get out. So when I was 17, I left home and went to Monterrey, a very big city in the north of Mexico, got a job, went through college, working all the time. And then when I was 23, I got pregnant. Same story as my mother. But thanks God, I was like 5 years older than her. No, 6 years older than her. So I got my first boy. And then 1 year later, I'm having my second girl. And this is where my real story started. 1 week later, that my second daughter was born, my first husband, he left. So I was with my first boy, 1 year old, and my daughter, 1 week old, and me being 25 with 2 little kids. And my mother was a very Mexican mother. She was like, oh, sweetheart, you were the one who opens your legs, so you're the one taking care of your kids. So don't expect any support from me. Don't expect any day me taking care of your kids or even asking you if you have for milk, diapers, or anything like that. So, and I appreciate that now because she really pushed me to find how big I was. And because of that, I was an employee back then. And because of that, I realized that being an employee, it was not going to be a good formula for me for success. So that's when I started selling things. And I started selling the most unbelievable things. So that was when the mobile sales started going out. Everybody in Mexico wanted a mobile. So I started selling that. Then I started selling underwear and anything that it was in front of me that I was capable to sell, I will sell it. So that's when I decided that being an employee, it was not going to be enough and that I needed to start my own business. Plus, there was no boss that will support me, or stand me or just hold me back because I was so motivated and so pushy, and I will be on top of my boss saying we should do this, we should do that. So I will, my bosses, they were just happy when I left. So I started my own business when I was 25. Back then I was making $400 a month, and I was living in Monterrey with my 2 kids. And I always tell this to the women that when they find themselves alone with kids, I always tell them there was some people that their story makes them feel, or they give this meaning to the story, to their story, a heavy story, a heavy meaning. For me, it was like, I need to be successful because my kids. So I remember myself waking up at 4:30 in the morning, walking at 5:15 with my kids, at 2 Celsius degrees, raining, no car, pushing the stroll with my two babies, going to a daycare. I found a daycare that they were so nice to take my kids at 5:45, because I needed to go to my job, which started at 7 a.m., but it was 1 hour from my home. So I needed to leave at 6, get there on time, because if it was 7:01, it was already, a bad thing. 3 times of that being late, and I was, gone. So I couldn't afford that for my kids. And so I remember doing that, rainy days, you know, cold days, hot days. And uh, I remember repeating to myself, I need to have my own business. I need to start my own business. I can't. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't because I didn't want to walk at that, at that hours with my kids. It was because I didn't want to take out my kids in the middle of the raining, and the weather. So that's when I started my first business. I was 25. And I used to sell software for maquiladoras, which in Mexico, the maquiladoras, it's all the companies that produce all the parts for the American companies. So I used to do consulting, international consulting for them, for the Mexican law, to help them how to, go through that. Now you can ask me, what did I know about it? Nothing. So every meeting, I was there sitting, and they will ask me something. But you know what? And I always said this to the people, I was so clear and transparent. And I think that you know me. And since then I was like that. So anything that they will ask me, I will say, do you know what? I don't know that. But give me 30 minutes after I leave this meeting, and I will find information for you. So I never said, oh yes, no, I know, I have all the experience. Never. I always said, you know what? I just need to get this done. I will do anything I need to do to help you. And if there is any answer, I don't have it with me, I will find it for you. And that's what I did. So coming from a job that I was making $400 a month, 6 months later, I was making $25,000 a month. And for me, can you imagine 25,000 a month in Mexico? It was like, holy cow, I made it. So
you were
started,
25 at this time, right?
I was 25.
Wow.
I was 25.
You must have thought you died and went to heaven.
Yes. I started having a very good life. I was able to give a good life to my kids. Then I got married the second time, because I'm a woman of faith. I believe in men. So I found another person, and he was, and he hasn't died, but he was Chinese American. So we got married, and he came to live to Monterrey in Mexico. And I understand that for him, it was hard to live in Mexico because the American lifestyle. So one day, 4 years later, one day he said, you know what? I can't stand living anymore in Mexico. We need to move back to the United States, and we need to move to Phoenix. For me, it was very hard during that time. Back then, I already had 25 people working for me, and I was making $500,000 a month. And for me, it was so hard to understand, because it was like, you can find a job in any freaking place in the world, but starting a business and making it be successful is not something I'm going to be doing, from one day to another one. When I go to another city, another country, understand the law, understand how things work there. But I wanted to be a good wife. After one thing that happened, with the first marriage, it didn't work out. So the second time I was like, okay, I need to be a good wife. My mom says that if I behave good with my husband, things are going to work out and I'm going to be finding, happiness for myself. So, yes, I moved to Phoenix, and I can tell you that 6 months later, I put on at least almost 18 kilograms. Yeah.
37, 40 pounds.
Yes, because I was depressed, being only at home and not feeling that I was productive.
What happened to your business during those few months that you were in
I
Arizona?
I tried to sell it, and I wasn't successful. I think inside of me, I didn't want to.
I think that's the truth.
It is the truth. I didn't want to. So I kept as many clients as I was able or capable to take care of them. And that lasted maybe 6 months, and then it died, completely died. And by the time when I started figuring out that the business was going to die, I started being very, very depressive and not finding my place in United States. Now, this is the thing. How the situation is for immigrants in the United States, and how many people want to move to United States. I don't care about living in the United States. I'm a
I
happy woman
agree.
every, you know what I mean? I can make millions anywhere I go. So for me, being in the United States, it wasn't something that motivated me to you know what I mean? Because for me, it was like, I just want to be entrepreneur. I just want to do my thing. Now, being married to a Chinese guy, very strict, very square, I was a pain in the ass for him. Being so free soul and wanting to invest and wanting to travel and wanting to get trained. Every time I wanted to go to training, he will go like, why do you want to pay these people just to wash your head? Your brain is stupid, just throwing your money to the toilet and blah, blah. Why did you don't save it? Because they are very save. Mm-hmm. And so to don't make the story long, we lasted together 10 years.
Really?
Yes.
That's about 9 years longer than I would have thought, but go ahead.
When? So, but you know what was a good thing about moving to Phoenix is that I started a movement with women, the immigrants. I wanted to teach them how to manage their money, because it will break my heart to see how those women cross the desert in the Arizona and the heat, and then being working there and not knowing what to do with their money. Not, you know what I mean? I always say they moved from Mexico to United States, but they didn't move their mindset.
Yep.
So it was just people making more money with poor decisions. And so I started this movement, and that really fired me up. And I started, doing things. And that's how I ended up sitting in the same table with Robert Kiyosaki. And I was part of his team for 9 years, starting in 2017 till 2016, 2007 to 2016.
I got the math.
Yes, exactly. And so in 2010, I moved back to Mexico when I broke up with my ex-husband, my second one. Take your notes about how many I have. And so we broke up. And one of the things I decided was that I wanted to go back to Mexico. And that was another hard decision, because everyone around myself will say, what? Are you freaking kidding me? You want to go back to Mexico when you are American citizen, your kids are American citizens. You know how many Mexicans want to stay here and you want to go back to your country? But for me, it was like, with all the knowledge that I have now, if I can make 1% of the people in Mexico to listen to me, yeah, I can make change in my country.
Yep.
so I went back. I went back, and it makes me feel very, very powerful and very proud of myself, because it's been now 10 years since I moved down here, and I moved down to Mexico. I crossed the border in Laredo with my 4 kids, because now I had 4 because I'm very productive. So so I had 4 kids now, and we crossed the border only with $10,000 in my pocket, one luggage each of us, no home, no business, no nothing. And I decided I wanted to go and live in Mexico City, because I didn't want to go back to any of the cities where we used to live. So people will start asking me, what is the Chino? What is the Chino? What is the Chinese? What is the... Oh my God, no, I didn't want that. So I just moved to Mexico City to get lost there, and rented this house in a beautiful place with a lot of flowers and empty house. And at least for 4 months, my kids and me, we slept on the floor with one blanket, one pillow, and every coin that I will make, it will go to my company, to build my company. And it was that way for almost 2 years. Of course, I bought a bed and everything. You know, I started buying things little by little. But I remember my mother coming to my home, Tom, and saying, you know, you don't have even a chair for me to sit. You know, how do you call this place home? And I will say, Mom, if you have an extra chair at home, bring it. And if you don't have it, don't come. That's all right with me. You know, when I have my own chair, I will call you and you can come to visit me. You know, I don't need that right now. So it lasted 2 years till I was ready and open to say, okay, now I have the company I want. With the money I want, I will go and buy anything I want for my home.
So in 2 years, you're in Mexico City and you're gradually buying furniture. What kind of volume per month was your company doing during that time?
Well, I started with real estate, because that was one of the things that I used to teach with Robert. I traveled all around the United States teaching real estate for him. And when I came down to Mexico, that was the first thing I started teaching. Only that business, that line of my business, it was giving me $60,000 free, totally. How do you say, tax free, or I don't know how to say it, per month. So I was back where I wanted to be. You know,
Perfect.
I was back where I wanted to be.
I'm so proud of you. You're the most amazing person I know.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. I'm very, you know what? I'm very committed with teaching my people. We always think that other places are better than our place, till the moment that you commit to make your place better.
Yep.
And then there is no other place better than your place.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I'm very committed with that. Very, very committed to teach my people that they can be here in Mexico. Mexico has so many opportunities because they really have nothing. So we need everything. You know what I mean? So we have such a market open, and when people say there's no money in Mexico, I will show you there is a lot of money. You just need to hang out with the right people and say the right things and offer the right products, and then the money will come to you. Yeah.
That's always true.
Yeah. So that's how I started again in 2010 with my four kids in my home. They were teenagers. You know, my younger girl, she was 4, then 7, then 13, then 14. So the 13 and 14, that was a pain, because they were like, why do we have to move down to a place where there is no bed? You know, we had this home in Chandler, Arizona, with pool, with Audis, you know, with a Land Rover, you know, parking in the, you know, Mom, what the heck is wrong with you? And, I hope that my kids understand now. And I know they do. I know they do. But back then, you know, having the 4 kids, starting a new business, being back in your country, now, because I left for 4 years, I didn't have credits, I didn't have a story, nothing. So I really had to start from scratch. And so I just started doing all these businesses. The company started to grow. By 2015, I had 54 people working for me. And then in 2016, it came the big crash.
Really? What happened?
We partner up with two people, and we had this company going on. And I don't know if I have told you this before, but I have a very strong connections with the creator, with God, and he speaks to me very loud. So I was doing hiking in Kilimanjaro in Africa, and being up there, he talks to me and he says, "You don't belong to that company, you need to get out." That was in June 2015. So I remember going down the hill, going down from the mountain, and calling my husband saying, oh, because I got a third husband, by the way, in 2012.
So now we're at 2012 and you're on number 3, right?
Yes,
You haven't caught up with me yet, because
yeah.
Julie is my 4th.
Oh, no, but I'm committed to stay here with the third one.
Okay.
But as I always say, because my husband is 11 years younger than me. And so I always said to him, honey, if you one day decide that you want to go, because we don't have kids together, I can't have kids anymore. And I know that he's young. And I always said to him, if one day you decide you want to go and have your own child, and, it's okay with me, I will just, because this literally, I jumped from one husband to another. Yeah. So I always said to him, I will take, like a free time, like for 3 or 4 years, just to go around the world and get to know men. Because I've been only with 3 men in my life, and been married to them, and that doesn't make sense, So don't worry, I'm very, you know what I mean? With the years, is like,
yeah,
do with your life whatever you want,
Yeah, after a while, as I was getting divorced from my 3rd wife, who I was married to for 40 years, 40 años, I realized that I was the reason why I was doing that. It had nothing to do with them. And so I just changed what I was looking for. And that's when I found the wife of my dreams. And I've been married to her for, I think, 8 years now. So.
Oh, I've been married for 8 years too.
Okay, perfect. So we're on the same path.
Yeah, we are. But so anyway, in 2015, that happened. We walk out of that company. We had a lot of money invested in that company. And what happened was that basically by December 2015, that company crashed. By May 2016, we had lost $3.5 million.
Ouch. Oh.
Yes.
But were you still living in Mexico City?
Yes.
Okay, so is that when you went to Cancun?
Yes. 2016, we stayed in Mexico City just to figure out things, and and try to see all the legal part and everything that was going on. I was outside of the company already almost for a year, because what God said to me, but still we were involved in the whole thing. So we stayed in Mexico City just to make sure that people knew that we had nothing to hide, what I mean? Just to be there for everyone and for ourselves too, because we had so much money, invested. And then finally in December 2016, my husband and me, we decided we wanted a more relaxed life, more family oriented, and that we wanted to reconsider what was success for us. And so, yeah, so we moved down to Cancun. We've been here for the last 4 years.
What
after
let me interrupt you for a second. So you were in this business that you had these partners and it eventually collapsed. Were you in the same business? Did you open up the same business when you went to Cancun, or did you start something new?
That was a third business I had running. So
Okay.
my principal business, it was running, but when this collapsed too. It was
Oh,
like a domino effect,
okay.
it was like a domino effect. And so I had the 54 people working here. This company had at least 200 people working. And um, finally, I just kept 6 people from this
Okay.
company. And I took that 6 people and we started back again from there.
And
I have
did they move to Cancun with you?
no,
Okay.
I've been working with them remotely since then, um, and doing home office since 2016.
Okay.
So now we have 18 people working with us.
Okay.
We're still not back in the income that we had before, or for the company. In my personal income it is, but for the company we haven't reached that place. However, because I cut it so much, all the costs, the revenue has duplicated, so I'm happy. Yeah,
Perfect.
so I'm happy. Yes, exactly. I'm not in the numbers that I had before, as the income and the money coming into the company, but the revenue, it has duplicated because I have only 18 people instead of 54. You know what I mean? So a lot of things, everybody works from their home. I have no offices. So it's and 2020, it was a blessing for us, because I moved all my events from paying hotels and all that to online. And we were able to have a low, very low cost. And then being able to have more clients from everywhere in Latin America. And by the way, in 2018, we were able to pay off and to recover from where we were, from the loss of the $3.5 million. And that happened in June 2018. So
Great.
I don't know. When
What
people
don't you
tell
know? It
me,
sounds like you're doing well. It sounds like every time that something falls apart, you come back better from it. Have you always been that way?
you know what? Yes, but I'm looking to change the formula, because it's exactly what you said. What I figure out is that I have a limited program that says, for me to go to the next level, I need to lose everything I have.
Really?
So yeah, yeah. So yeah, because everything that repeats in your life, the same formula repeats, that's a program.
I
Oh
agree.
yes, that's a program. So in the last time that I lose everything, somebody asked me, so why do you have to lose everything to go to the next level? And I was like, fuck. It was so clear. It was like, man, it's true. So I've been working a lot with changing that, and saying to go to the next level, I can and I deserve to keep everything I have worked for.
Just as a little sidebar, because I don't know your personal answer to this question. I arrived at the same thing, and that is why I got connected to Brandon Dawson and Natalie Workman, because they're teaching people how to scale their businesses. So just, if you haven't done it, I strongly suggest that you get connected to those people, because that's their whole thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking to do it this year. I'm going to Elena's mastermind in 2 weeks,
Okay.
because I haven't been at the corporate at all. I don't know them. It's been, we went only to because that was something else. From 2016 to 2010, from 2016 to 2020, I decided I didn't want to do anything related with money, with business, real estate, or anything. It was like, no, hell, that burns my life. So I don't want to be there. So I moved totally to a very holistic and very I'm in Cancun, became a hippie, and life is good, and I don't need the money till I need it, and till the moment I decided I wanted to be able to go back to travel all around the world, and it's like, I need money to travel all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went to the conference in Las Vegas last year, we went because it was my husband's birthday, and I said, well, it's a good time to go to Las Vegas. We can hang out in that place, maybe half a day, just be there. I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm not. Jesus Christ, I ended up paying a licensee. You know the story, investing the money we invest for a license. And since then, it's been a process for me to go back to business, um, to talk about money, to talk about real estate, but also to believe that what happened is not who I am. It's just part of what I had to learn
Yep,
to have more wisdom now to teach to my people. So
I agree.
that's where I am right now.
So I think one of the first conversations that we had, which was probably in March or April, I think you
Yeah.
told me you had 400,000 followers on social media in Latin America. Is that true? Do I remember?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I do it on Facebook, and then in Instagram is like 42,000, something like that. And I started TikTok. Holy cow. So my team is a very young team. So they're
Okay.
like, you need to be in TikTok. You need to be in TikTok. And I'm like, I don't see myself dancing like crazy and showing parts of my body. And they were like, no, 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 you need to do this. So finally I decided, I joined TikTok, and we have so far 25,000 followers.
Hmm.
And we started like 3 months ago. And I'm now very hooked up with TikTok because it's a lot of feedback very, very, very quickly. So um, I'm happy for it because I feel that I finally found a place where I can be very connected with the people that are doing something in TikTok. So yes, and I enjoy it.
Yeah. At the core of you, you like to dance, you like the music, and you like to show off. That's many of the things that I like about you.
Yes, yes, and um, it's always people always one of the questions that people always ask me is if I will go back to live in the United States or not. And I really don't care. It's not something that I have in my mind.
Okay.
And I have one of my girls, she lives in Los Angeles, and one of my boys, he used to live in San Francisco. And I have my older boy that he lives here in Cancun. He administrates my company. He is the administrator of my three companies. And then I have a 15 years old girl that she's thinking that she wants to go to United States to do college. Um, I really don't care. My concern right now is to create a business that I can be anywhere in the world enjoying my kids. So maybe it's 6 months in Cancun and 6 months in Los Angeles, or I don't know. That's my main concern right now, to build something that can give me that freedom, um, to live the life that I want with my family. Because that for
Makes total sense to me.
yeah, yeah.
So, with what's going on in the United States right now, why would you come to the United States?
Exactly. I'm like, but if you look at Mexico too, we're not singing a bad song. We're pretty screwed up too. So let's go to Canada, maybe Toronto.
So, I'm listening to your story, and it's like it, even marriages are companies. Success, failure, success, failure. And what prepared you? What happened to you in your young life that created that cycle? And what did you do to overcome it?
Well, what happened is that when my parents split up, basically I was in charge of my two sisters. I'm the older one, so I have another girl, another sister that she's 4 years younger than me, and then another one that is 11 years old, younger than me. So when I was 11, my sister was zero. You know, she was months born, and my mom slipped out and broke her two arms, and I was the one taking care of her during the nights, you know, doing the bottle and everything for her. So when my daughter listened to me, when my sister was between 1 and 2 years, she used to call me mom, and
Got
I
it.
will cry because I was 12, 13 years old, and in the middle school they will say Anna has a daughter and nobody knows it. I heard the girl saying, and I will cry. So I wanted to,
Understand?
yeah. And in one hand, I love my sisters, you know, just like my daughters, you know,
Yep.
just like that. And I had this responsibility to taking care of them, to feed them, to cook for them, to do everything for them, but also be good in the school and have good grades, and you know, have my own young life that I wasn't able to have. And I think that prepared me a lot. And then when I took the decision that I was not going to go to law school, because my parents, both of them, they were lawyers. And I don't know if this happens in the United States, but in Mexico, it was like, if you have two parents that are lawyers, like if you're not a lawyer, you're nothing in this life.
It's the
So,
same.
okay.
You won.
Okay, yeah. So I went to law school for the first year, and I had best grades. And I took my grades, went to see my mother and tell her I am capable. I don't want to. So I'm just gonna leave. And I was almost 18 years old. And for her was like, what? What do you mean you're gonna leave? I'm just gonna go to another city and start over. And she's like, you are 17 years. What do you mean you're gonna start over? Start over from what? From being in charge of people I don't have to be in charge. Yeah. So very soon in my life, I had to take care of myself, take care of my money, administrate my money, look for business, look for opportunities, and do many things that perhaps, like today, I see my kids, and I think, man, you know, at her age, and I think the same happens to every parent. You know, at her age, I had two kids, and I was working, and I was waking up and they're freaking sleeping at 9 a.m. in the morning, doing nothing, and they have a stressful life. Jesus Christ, what do you mean? Yeah.
I
So
understand completely.
but you know what? I have also taught my kids to, like my daughter in Los Angeles, she paid her own school. She worked through college. She worked to um, junior high, and she bought her own car. And I've been only there to support them and to teach them how to get what they want without giving them, even if I have the money. I always say to them, my money is not to make your life easy, is to make assets that maybe when I die, when I leave, perhaps I will give it to you if I don't sell it before, to have a better life. You know what I mean? So, so they had to work. They had to work.
Good lesson, Mom. Good lesson. So, if you could go back to and tell yourself at 15, 16 years old a message that would help you through that time from then until now, what would that message be?
Well, you know, I've been a woman of faith since always,
Okay.
and I'm not meaning that I believe in the Virgin or the Jesus, or no, just I just believe. I just believe. Right now, I'm not Christian. I'm not Catholic. I just believe. And I in 2019, I lost a boy.
my kid was 17 years old. And maybe what I will say to Anna when she was 15 is that whenever she gets to have her kids, enjoy them more.
I understand.
That's it.
I
I won't
didn't,
change
I
anything.
didn't mean to make you cry.
No, it's okay. And thank you for asking me, because um sometimes we think that we have to go back and say, oh, don't make this mistake. I don't know. I won't change anything, because for me everything is perfect. And even through that pain, I have grown a lot, and I respect my kid decision, and I love him with all my heart, and he's not separated from me. He lives in my heart every day. And but I will say to Anna, just enjoy more your kids. Just
Got
enjoy
it.
them more, because you never know when they're gonna be gone. That's
Got
it.
it. Okay. So if you could say one thing to every inhabitant of planet Earth, every person in every country, which is what? Todos los gentes en el mundo?
El mundo.
Okay. What would it be?
I will say to them to ah as I said before, I'm a woman of faith.
Got it.
And I think the first thing that I have faith for is for myself.
Good.
I have so much faith that I will do what I need to do, and the powerful, and just I just trust in myself, because I had no choice but to trust in myself, taking care of my kids and taking care of my two sisters, and going to a new city when I was 17, and doing my own stuff, and doing everything I have done. So I would say that, as you believe in yourself, you can believe in others people too, because you can't give to anybody what you don't have for yourself.
Got it.
So I will say, let your let your light, your bigger you, get out, because it's like inside of you, and it's just ready to be there, out there, helping people. Believe that. I always say, I am the salt of this world, so everybody needs me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm the light of this world, so I need to be out there, because there's so many people in the shadows. So I can't let myself to be small, because we need more light out there. And by the way, I am the light. So hello, believe in yourself. Believe in
Okay.
yourself. Be a
So
believer.
would you say, I'm going to make a statement. I think that I listened to you and all these things that you got into the sales game at a very young age. Is the reason that you could do it was because you had no choice, or is there something else that made you so good at selling things?
I think that being hungry makes you sell whatever you need to.
Good answer. It's the threat in the environment. I mean, my business has totally evolved because of this pandemic, and
Hmm.
it kind of got me reconnected to my business. I got less satisfied. I put more work into it, more effort. I've probably done 11, 1,200 videos since this whole thing started, which up until that time, I'd do a couple of months and thought I was doing well.
Mhm.
And it's just, I have a whole different outlook on things. And even though in April and May and even into a little bit of June, our business was down 90%. Well, by the time that we finished the year, we were up. And, you know, uh, just, not giving up, not quitting, showing up every day, doing things that other people don't want to do is, I don't mean this is your time to speak. So shut me up. Otherwise I'll talk too much. But you have been a special person in my heart from the very first time that I think we met at on, well, were we on WhatsApp or?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
Yeah, I asked you something, or I asked something in the group, and you were very kind to answer to me in private and explain to me, which I really appreciate.
Well, and maybe unbeknownst to many people, and I should do it in all transparently, but I lived in Mexico for a while and I loved it there. I don't understand why people want to come to the United States, especially what's going on right now. So, and you know, it's the people that are coming across this border are being chased by something or they're reaching for something. And you're living proof that it's not necessarily here. It's not, you know, you could do a lot of the same things by staying in your own country and doing it there. And I think you're absolute proof of that.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, as I said before, I think that everything is perfect, and I had to go to United States to get close to Robert Kiyosaki and all his
Yeah.
his calls, and to learn about financial education. And then when I moved down to Mexico, I got very close to John Maxwell, which I traveled with him all around Latin America, and then Brian Tracy too. And now, you know, I became the licensee for Grant Cardone, and I keep saying that as long as you don't decide to make your garden beautiful, the garden, the patio of anyone else's will be better than yours.
Yep.
But you need
Yep.
dedication, love, compassion to where do you live, and to commit to be the change in your place. Wherever you were planted, give, flourish there.
Got it. Now, a lot of times when I see you on Zoom calls, you have the same exact background. What does
Yeah.
that, I've never seen the whole thing from Dr. Seuss. So can you turn the camera over a little bit so I can read that?
Yeah, sure.
Over your right shoulder. The more that you read, more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, this is my small corner in my home, and that's where I work every day. And that's because that's one of the things I decided, that to don't have an office anymore, to don't be as outside of my home, so I can be here with my daughter, which is the only one that is now at home because she's 15. And I love this small corner of myself. I have a lot of little different things here.
I understand. So your daughters already have her quinceañera? You already did that?
Oh, no quinceañeras in my life.
Oh, really?
I don't know. So I always exchange that for trips or anything that they want to learn. If they want to go and study something, I will pay for it. But no quinceañeras, no parties for 300 people that I don't know, and they're just going to come and eat and drink my money. So no.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
This shows that this old gringo, even though I lived in Mexico, never really understood what quinceañeras was. So now I know.
It's like presenting your daughter to society.
It's a party for 200 people that you don't know, and they're all going to eat and drink. I have a different name. I have a different name for that kind of, and that's chaos. But okay, now I know.
And you won't believe how many people, they sell their cars, they get a second loan in their homes to do that party, because for many girls that's like the biggest thing in their lives, because they get presented in the society. And I'm like, what freaking society? There is no society that it deserves my money. No.
Completely understand. Completely understand. Is there anything I can do for you?
Is there anything you can do for me? Being honest, Tom, I think that you're being very supportive with me in some way, somehow, I always, my father died when he was like 47.
Okay.
I didn't live with him since I was 11. And for some reason, I always find older men that they always I find them to have this energy like a father.
Okay.
So for me, when I made that question in the group, and you were very kind to answer to me in private and give me all the information, and you been like a cheerleader for me, just always telling me and supporting me when I did the launching of the Gran Cardone licensing in Mexico. For me, just your energy and presence in my life, it's been a blessing, really.
I really appreciate that, and I promise you that I will continue. I
Thank
can't say forever because this
know.
body's going to it's going to decay on me and kick me out and force me to do something different. But I assure you, I promise you that I will never stop supporting you.
Thank you very much. And I promise you, I will never give up on being my best and making you proud that you've been supporting me. Promise you.
No problem. So we've been at this for close to an hour, and unfortunately for today's quest, that is the end of today's podcast. So I love your smiling face. I love your energy, and I get inspired by you every time I listen to you talk. Every time. You absolutely inspire me. And again, I have already asked you this, and I've already made it. But if there's anything I can do for you, you know how to reach me. Just call me and ask.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for the space. Thank you for your time. And thank you for letting me share my story. And I really hope that many people that are listening to you, Latinos or no Latinos, they get to understand that having a clear vision of your life, it doesn't matter where you are, you can make a paradise, out of it.
So sometime in 2021, unless our government goes completely batshit, I want to come visit you in Cancun, because Cancun is Julie and we've been there several times for some aircraft stuff, and I want to come down and visit you and spend a couple of days with you. Is that okay with you?
You're very welcome here.
Okay. I love the city, and now I have a friend who runs the city.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Adios, mija.
Gracias, hijo. Bye bye.